Hello and welcome to Untitled Anarchist Seagull channel. I'm your host, an Untitled Anarchist Seagull. And now let's just get into some Geoguessr. So we get the evenings off to a good start. I'm gonna try something a little bit different. I'm gonna put the challenge link into chat. Anyone wants to join in the game, you can just click that link and play along. Okay. Those look like EU number plates. Número tarjeta, ayuntamiento de algo. Estamos en España, well. Nice to see a mask on somebody, even if this is probably 2 years ago. Hello, digital drama. Welcome to the stream. I think this may be your first time on here. Just playing some Geoguessr to get started out. Yeah, estamos en España, one. Okay. Let's see if we can get some more detail on exactly where in Spain we are. How are you doing tonight? Okay, Coliseo. El circo a 2 pistas. No dice la ubicación. Muebles y decoración. I mean, we are... I don't think there's anybody outside of Spain who calls their municipalities ayuntamiento. At least I don't think I've ever seen it any other place than Spain. The Alcorcón. Ilustrísimo Ayuntamiento de Alcorcón. Okay, from that name, I'm gonna say it's probably southwestern. It sounds like it was probably Andalusia. I've never heard of Alcorcón. So we're gonna have a look around, see what we find. Oso Blanco, Andújar, Baeza, Granada, Alcorcón. ¿Dónde carajo está Alcorcón? El Curcún, Torre Cardela, Baza, Almería. Vélez, Málaga. Funny, this is the part of Spain we were in just this afternoon on the other stream. Córdoba, Villarrío, Linares. Alcorcón se encuentra en la Comunidad de Madrid. Ah, ok, gracias. ¿Eres de España? Alcorcón, ahí estamos. Ah, ok. Obras y servicios. Ok. Let's see if we can find a street name now that we've got that. Thanks, that does simplify things greatly. Only part of Spain I've ever really been in is Catalonia, and not very long there either. Oh, but if I'd gone a little bit further, here we have Gangacares Madrid. Okay, that would have clarified things. La calle, ¿cómo se llama la agua? Hey, Jill, how are the cheeses doing? By the way, let me just repost this. I think if you want to join in the game, I've set it up as a challenge, so anyone who wants to actually also play along on this map is welcome to do so. Mercadona, ahí estamos. I bet. 210 meters, 49.99 points. Not a bad start. Okay. This is a bit more scuffed than Alcorcón. Got some palm trees. This construction makes me think South America. Neander International School. Okay, that doesn't. That name makes me think India, maybe. Neander schools. Did they consider that that sounds like they're making a Neanderthal reference? Shackman. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking this is probably India. It's hard to say for sure. Oh, well, we're driving on the left. That does kind of suggest India. Road closed. Craneburg construction. I mean, I guess maybe this could also be South Africa? COVID Victims Support Fund. The Lekki Free Zone. There is no Lekki in this zone. Probably because the bills are too high. Okay, but I'm thinking it wouldn't be unusual for this to be around Delhi. Although I don't know if they've got a free zone or anything like that. Gurugram, Nai Delhi, Sadakpur, Ghaziabad. I mean, honestly, my guess that this is India is based on very little. It's based on Neander sounding kind of India. Thank you. Lekki Phase 1, Lekki Phase 2. Okay, there we go. Haven't really gotten Nigeria very often. $10cc? No, not offhand. 4806. Okay, there we go. A ver. Fast eddies. And we're driving on the right, and the roads are scuffed. That tells me we're probably in North America. Skylark, Municipal Golf Course. What's the deal with 10cc? What kind of band are they? Premium fishing tackle. Yeah. 254 area code. Day in, night in, truck parking. Speed limit. Okay, Harker Heights and Colleen. Yeah, it could be... I mean, it's in the US. We know that because it says speed limit. Let's see if we can find some information going beyond that. Dance, Latino style. Like, that doesn't exactly narrow it down. Are we talking tango? Are we talking salsa? Are we talking fucking cueca? Mariachi. Hay tanto estilo, po. Urban Herbman Smoke Shop. I wouldn't mind a bit of herb at the moment. Oh, we got a school bus. That'll give us something. Unless it just disappears. It's one of those fucking disappearing school buses. Right. Dog daycare. Meo Jadongsa. That's Korean. Okay. We're someplace where you've got Spanish and Korean adjacent to each other, and not just like a Korean car shop or something. Iglesia Cristiana. Que más iglesia hay, weón? No, I don't think I'm familiar with them. Okay, we've got school buses of various sorts, or just some kind of motor pool here. Eine Fahrbereitschaft. Texas Skateland. Okay, we're in Texas. Oh, you cut your finger cutting potatoes? Oh, Jill. I have done this so many times. That is the worst. I hope it isn't too bad. Am I Chilean? No, but I've spent quite a bit of time there, and my Spanish is Chilean. Let's say that in South America, it is kind of the closest to home that I can be in South America would be in Santiago. Okay, so we're at Colleen and Harker Heights, Texas. A ver... Bandera, Castroville, Uvalde, Carrizo Springs. And where are you joining us from, Digital Drama? Alice, El Campo, La Grange. Palestine. Ah, de México. ¿De qué parte de México? Rotten. Abilene. Trouble with Texas is it's way too fucking big. I need like a... Pretty sure I'm gonna need a route number or something. Ah. No he tenido oportunidad todavía de conocer México, pero me gustaría hacerlo harto. Bueno, a través de Geoguessr lo he conocido varias veces, incluyendo CDMX. But okay. It is a divisive accent. Some people absolutely okay. Eastbound 190. Eastbound 190. But they're like, I've met like Central America when I was in LA for a while. I met some people from Central America and they just absolutely were tickled with it. Like with the fact that I called, okay, here we go, 190, that I called like a cigarette a pucho. And they're like, he's like, okay, no, say what you call a cigarette again. It's like, because I guess in Central America nobody's really heard it that much. And so everyone's like, oh, that's adorable. Madisonville, Autonio. Grapeland, Weeping Mary. That sounds like a boss on World of Warcraft. There we go. Austin. Oh, hang on. This may be U.S. Highway 190, and I'm looking for Texas Route 190. Lomé, Talambasa, Rochelle, San Angelo, Knickerbocker. Guatón Pitonizo. Yeah, of course. Like I've met him in person. We've spent time together. He is one of the people that I pretty much always see at least a few times when I'm in Santiago. Fort McCavitt, Menard, Brady. Ah, come on. Where the hell's Colleen, damn it? Leaky. I'm gonna say somewhere here. 67 kilometers. Oh, neat. People are joining in. Okay, we got more. We got a, well, not a roundabout so much as a dead end, and we've got palm trees. Let's see. I don't know, this feels still kind of North American. Feels kind of US-y. Blundell Place, no exit, yes. Oh, hang on, there was a yield sign, those are informative. It says give way, no, we're not in the US, we are in Australia. Or possibly in New Zealand. When the yield sign says give way, you are not in North America. Roadworks. So, okay, we're someplace with palm trees in Australia. Trouble is there are a fair number of those. I mean, that could be Queensland, it could be up Cairns way, could be Sydney. What is that? Langstone Place, another no exit. Heaton. Okay, we need a main road someplace around here. Although, so far these names seem to skew more Australia than NZ. NZ, I'd expect to see more Maori. My limited experience with street names in New Zealand feels more like Australia. Use transport. Food Sprite. NZY Daily. Okay, I'm wrong. We are in NZ. Okay. Statistically, Auckland is a reasonable bet. Ok, ciao Teca. Vamos a Nueva Zelanda. Auckland. Yeah, QBC Builders, Co. NZ. Yeah, we are definitely in NZ. Hold on, were those bins? No. Okay, zebra crossing. That's annoying. Now we're in the low-res part of bloody New Zealand. Okay, what's this? Onetaunga Road, Kauri Point Centennial Park. Howick, McLean's. Churchill, Kohimarama, Orake. Oh, hang on. A tradie. A tradie's van is really tends to be useful for these things. Unless the bloody tradie's van is pixelated so you can't actually see where. Oh, but we got bins. Auckland Council. We're in Auckland. Okay, that's kind of what I figured. Orake, Remuera, Epsom, Mount Eden, Wairaka, Chitirangi, Massey, Mount Wellington, Tamaki, Flatbush. Okay, I'm just gonna say someplace in bloody Auckland. Fun fact, in the Antipodes, there are like 5 or 6 different bloody cities that are called the Big Smoke. Auckland's one of them, but Sydney's also the Big Smoke, and I think there's a couple others as well. 12 kilometers, not bad. 49.61, and I immediately am not sure. I was gonna say this felt kind of US-y, except no. KMT. Okay, we're in Scandinavia. Could be Sweden. Fallskog, fristad. Rångedala, Fallskog. Okay. Annoying thing about those place names is none of them have letters in them that would definitively distinguish between Sweden and Norway. Gårdsplan. Långeryd. Come on, give me something with an umlaut or an O with a slash through it, damn it. Ah. I know, I did not mean to jump back like that. Hello, Ludlow. How you doing? We are someplace in Scandinavia, and if you want to join in the game, here's the link. Well, I didn't know if you can join in the middle. Well, you can find out easily enough. Okay. This is either Norway or Sweden. I'm having trouble saying for sure which one. This is just endless. I mean, I feel like this is probably Sweden. Probably someplace towards the north. But on the other hand, it's nothing that has made me exactly certain. Mobile home. And excited going to the Florida Keys for the weekend, leaving tomorrow morning. Oh, that sounds nice. What's the weather like down there? Un. Okay, we're in Sweden. God, that is the name of the town. Un. That's not much to that. Just Un. So we're someplace in buggery in Sweden. Okay, I'm just gonna say fuck it. Someplace in Sweden. 565 kilometers off. Fallskog. Okay, 22,970. Highs in the 80s and raining in the Keys. Ah, well. Certainly toastier than here. It's been freezing for the past week. is kind of a relief in the way, because on the one hand, it's like, I don't mind some slightly warm, unseasonably mild weather, and on the other hand, there's the whole thing where the fucking planet's dying. And it really makes it a little bit difficult to properly enjoy unseasonably warm weather. Hey, I'm gonna pop my my Mastodon in here too, and so that it just since we're all preparing for the possible collapse of Twitter, this is where you can find me on Mastodon. Oh, that's... Ooh. Yeah, oh hey, Phoenix. Yeah, cold as balls here, too. Okay. Now, I would suggest... Yeah, DC, I remember when I was in university over in DC, I remember that got pretty cold. I would suggest we start out with, possibly, let's see, now we've already done Why is Hollywood So Woke? There's a, oh wow, there's a PragerU video marathon called Why Socialism Never Works. And then there's Why Do You Hate Conservatives? That could be fun as just a starter. And I was thinking that we could continue with Has utterly losing his shit over EJ and Luna. ICWA. You'll have to help me out there. They've been so silent on ICWA that I'm not actually sure what it stands for. Get the audio output. And let's start with a little bit of Why Do You Hate Conservatives? It kind of says a lot that they just start out with the idea that, the premise is that people hate them. I mean, that just kind of says a lot, considering that they have a whole propaganda machine. Oh, the Indian Child Welfare Act, right. Has the decision already been handed down? So I know that was up, but I mean, absolutely disastrous that is before this Supreme Court, and just another reason why it's time to just sort of maybe recognize that it's not actually particularly legitimate to have fucking 9 infallible god kings who can just sort of decide on a whim what the law should be.
Why do you hate conservatives?
Okay, how much time you got?
Well, let's not say hate. Let's say just...
No, we can say... I'm okay with hate, don't worry. You're not making me uncomfortable with hate.
Because you don't really hate anyone.
Well... No, I can, without any difficulty, say that there's some people I do. Henry Kissinger, for example. And I'm really fucked off that the way that Twitter is looking like it's collapsing, we won't necessarily get to watch him die on Twitter. Hello, 007, oh boy. Yeah, I know it's been... I guess it'll probably be a few months before they hand down the decision, but... I mean, yeah. I have a feeling it's going to end up being just one more fucking attack on indigenous people when in a long line of them in recent years.
You may dislike them because they want to ban abortion.
Well, that's a good reason, and actually, again, no, I fucking detest them.
Conservatives say they're all for freedom. But when it comes to a woman's freedom to choose what she wants to do with her own body, they sing a different tune.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, okay, I thought I was going to be disagreeing with this video, and she's getting it exactly right.
You may
I mean, apart from the fact that not only women get pregnant, not everyone who gets pregnant is a woman, but yeah, I mean, yes, we all need to hex Kissinger.
dislike them because they oppress people of color and deny the fact that America is systemically racist.
Yeah, good reason. Another good reason. I thought, I thought we were going to be at odds on this, and here she is, just making all the points.
Conservatives say that everybody is equal regardless of race.
No, they don't. I mean, some of them pretend to believe that. Others are very explicitly taking the other position.
And that racism has little to no effect on the daily lives of people of color.
Which, of course, is bullshit.
So, they just ignore the issue altogether.
Well, that if they ignoring the issue would be an improvement, as far as I can tell. I mean, they just absolutely fucking celebrate the issue.
You may dislike them because they don't believe in climate change.
Well, there I'm going to I will say I am there, because now we get into the area of the people buying and the people selling, because the people who are paying for PragerU know perfectly well climate change is happening, know perfectly well why it's happening, because they're oil billionaires, and the oil industry has been aware of this for literal fucking decades. They've been discussing it internally, and how to deal with the fallout from it, while maximizing their profits and making sure nothing would be done about it, for basically my entire lifetime, from the documents that I've occasionally seen get published. But then you've got the people who just sort of buy the bullshit they're selling, and I mean, those people I'm not exactly keen on, but that's a whole different level. Buying it and selling it are two very different things.
Scientists keep telling us we're overheating the planet, and conservatives don't seem to care.
Well, I mean, they clearly think we're not overheating the planet enough. And that's not just conservatives, though. I mean, the Democrats' contribution to the climate change response has been to pass a so-called Inflation Reduction Act that requires oil drilling.
They're more concerned about profits than people.
Well, that's just capitalists generally. That's not specifically conservatives.
But what good is money if you have no planet to spend it on?
Good point. Good point. I mean, again,
You may dislike them because they're obsessed with guns.
well, no, not exactly. More, they're obsessed with pointing those guns at.
How are we ever going to stop gun violence if we don't get guns off the streets?
Or at least out of the hands of fucking white supremacist pricks. Phoenix Rising 80 said white people probably don't have randos sending them the N slur anonymously on YouTube. Probably not all. I did have somebody on my other stream, on my language stream, who decided to begin his participation in my chat with the subtle gambit of trying to offer me $50 to get me to say it, which was clever. It was a great way to get banned immediately.
And how are we ever going to get guns off the streets if conservatives block every common sense gun law? You may dislike them because they're so intolerant.
God, you see, intolerant is such a bullshit word. This is something that they use more than anybody. I'm not looking for anyone to be tolerant. Like, I mean, fucking Tom Lehrer already ripped the piss out of the concept of tolerance like 40 years ago. The idea that what we're asking, what people, from marginalized communities are asking for is to be tolerated. I mean, if anyone's doing tolerating, it's the people in the fucking marginalized communities. They get to be more tolerant than anybody. I mean, because if they did not have a very high tolerance, shit would be burning down constantly.
What's the harm of calling somebody by their preferred pronouns?
Well, yeah, exactly. What's the harm of just showing people elementary respect? Good question.
Why can't conservatives just show some compassion
It's not compassion, it's called respect.
instead of obsessing over every kind of behavior they don't like?
Well, I mean, but again, I can't completely fault that. What's the wind up here? They're clearly winding us up here. Because,
You may dislike them because if they got their way, they'd get rid of democracy and establish an authoritarian theocracy.
Well, yeah, again, very good reason. Although to say that they'd get rid of democracy implies that we have it, and we don't. So, it's just what sort of authoritarian system you're living under, whether, how much Jesus is in it, basically.
Bye-bye separation of church and state. Hello, fascism. After all that, you might sum up conservatives with one word.
Assholes? Come on, Chad. What other words would you what other words would you summarize conservatives up with? Some conservatives up with. I mean, assholes come to mind, but I mean that's kind of mild for some of these people.
Ugh.
No, that is not the word that I would summarize them with. That isn't really a descriptor. That is just a sentiment. No. I'm gonna go with assholes.
If any of this resonates with you, I get it. I've been there.
Okay, and then you got paid by fucking oil billionaires to sell their propaganda and you managed to get over it.
But, and this surprised me, I found they actually have reasons for thinking the way they do.
Why did that surprise you? Of course they have reasons for thinking the way they do. That doesn't make their ideas any good. Like, fucking Hitler had reasons for thinking the way he did. The reasons suck shit, and the ideas suck shit. Of course they have reasons for thinking the way they do. I've listened to their reasons. Like, I mean, who's going to be won over by someone pointing out that that right-wingers have put some minimal amount of thought into what they're thinking?
Here are some of them. On abortion. To start, we can agree that no one likes abortion.
No, we can't. I think it's great. I think it's an extremely important thing to have. I think it saves lives. I think it makes a lot of people's lives better. So no, we can't agree that no one likes it. Definitely, there are people who like it a lot. I'm one of them.
But there is a clear divide on the issue.
Well, yes, but the thing is that your side of the issue is very much in the minority and needs to just shut the fuck up on it. Yeah, and here I thought people believe things just for their health, Phoenix says. Yeah, exactly. I mean, see, it's so totally different now that we know that they have reasons for this. See, I thought they just had a little dartboard. Bigots, shitheads, imperialism. Yeah, all very good words to sum them up.
Progressives focus their attention on the mother. Conservatives, while they have compassion for the mother,
which is shown by the fact that they want to pass laws that actually criminalize having a miscarriage,
focus their attention on the baby.
Which they don't give a shit about either, as you can tell from the fact that they don't want anything to do with assisting in the support. If that fetus gets born, they don't give a shit whether that fetus lives or dies. But we're going to pretend that they care about what goes on in the womb?
They see a human being growing in a mother's womb as innocent and vulnerable.
Except they clearly don't, because when they see innocent and vulnerable, they attack it.
Those babies deserve to be protected, since they obviously can't protect themselves.
You see, the premise of this is that nobody has heard the most bargain basement right-wing arguments that don't. I mean, if you think about it for half a second, you just have to laugh, because since when do these people give a shit about protecting human lives?
On racism, Conservatives don't deny that racist people exist,
Yeah, they actually do. A lot of them do.
but when it comes to the narrative of systemic racism,
They deny that that exists.
conservatives are unconvinced.
Which is very convenient since conservatives are also, like, since, I mean, what we're talking about is just explicit white supremacists. Although I mean, the thing is, this actually pushes me into the corner of, like, attributing a lot of things to conservatives that actually, I would say, conservatives just do the more impolite version of something that a lot of fucking liberals also kind of accept. Yeah, until they're born. As George Carlin said, if you're pre-born, you're fine. If you're preschool, you're fucked.
Of course, there are disparities in this country, but why assume that these disparities are because of racism?
Why would you have to assume that? We've got tons of evidence of it. The country is founded on racism. What the idea is we should just pretend that there was some sort of magic moment when history stopped existing or stopped being relevant, and that therefore we could just pretend that none of that happened or had any effect?
Good schools, good parents, good habits, and good communities would go much further toward alleviating poverty and expanding opportunity.
Oh, well, yes, except that good schools are very much unequally distributed, and that is a lot to do with fucking racism. And also, the thing is, you can have wonderful schools. That doesn't mean that there are good jobs. That doesn't mean that the jobs that are going will actually pay the rent.
Than a lifetime of racial justice movements.
Really? I mean, because last I checked, one of the big racial justice movements, the one you read in the history books, one of the things that they were actually fighting for was literally the right to be able to go to the well-funded schools that were whites only. That was one of the things that was one of the things that they famously were fucking fighting for.
By the way, these rules apply to everyone, regardless of skin color.
Oh yeah, right. Of course. I mean, if you say it's colorblind, then I mean, what my objections evaporate. I mean, that just makes it all work. It's like saying it's on the blockchain. Obviously, it's going to work.
On climate change, conservatives have very little faith in computer models that have been inaccurately predicting disaster for nearly half a century.
But they haven't been inaccurately predicting disaster for nearly half a century. They've been accurately predicting disaster for half a century. And their own fucking models, their own internal models of the companies that fund them, also have been saying that this is going to be bad. In fact, it's not just half a century, and it wasn't even the first time that somebody raised the possibility that carbon emissions could have an effect on the climate. They didn't have computers yet. I mean, unless you consider that thing that they had, the tabulating machine in England in the mid 19th century, a computer, which I guess you could. Because there was an article, and it is legit. It gets passed around on social media every once in a while, and if you look up the title of the article, it really did exist. From New Zealand, from a New Zealand scientific journal from the first decade of the 20th century, saying, maybe these carbon emissions aren't a great idea. And now, what do you know? The fucking sea levels are rising, the fucking glaciers are melting, we got massive extinction events going on. The West Coast is on fire basically constantly. I mean, I have friends in Vancouver who talk about how you can't even breathe just because of all the smoke that they're downwind of. You have entire small countries in the South Pacific disappearing. So yeah, I mean, accurately predicting disaster.
Conservatives have a lot of faith, however, in human ingenuity to overcome climate.
To overcome climate? The hell does that mean, to overcome climate?
Is air conditioning but a human adaptation to the environment?
Yeah, and what's the fucking point? I mean, apart from the fact that actually, A, we're going to need a lot more of it, and B, if we use the energy sources that are endorsed by PragerU, then air conditioning is going to actually be part of a positive feedback loop that fucks us over even faster as it becomes more necessary. Or are you saying that we could try air conditioning the entire planet? Is that your idea? Because I somehow don't think that's going to work.
See Miami or Phoenix for further reference. This is not to say we should simply do nothing. Nuclear power,
Oh, that's okay.
for example, holds so much promise as a renewable and safe energy source.
Well, I mean, safe. The trouble is that it's when it's controlled by capitalists who are constantly cutting corners on safety, it's a lot less safe than it could be. And there is still the issue, like, we don't in the US actually have a long term facility to put nuclear waste in. Like, there's only one in the world right now, and it's in Finland. And they're not done building it yet. They're expecting it's going to take a couple decades to finish it because they're going 4 kilometers into the ground. Because the thing is, you got to keep nuclear waste safe for about 100,000 years. And our track record on keeping nuclear waste safe is that it starts to leak and have containment failures in about 30 years. So, yeah, kind of needs some work, and maybe capitalists shouldn't be involved in that. And maybe we should look at the fucking energy sources that do not have either of those problems and really invest heavily in making sure that and bringing those up to scratch. Dad jokes are an underrated source of gender euphoria, says Phoenix. Oh, 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 leave me out of it because she said Phoenix. Oh, yes, dad jokes are an underrated source of gender euphoria.
Conservatives don't understand why environmentalists oppose it.
Yes, they fucking do. I mean, unless they just aren't paying attention. The issue is that every 10 years, one of these plants has a major safety disaster. And fairly equally regularly, we have problems with the intermediate waste storage facilities. And we still don't have someplace remote enough, deep enough into the ground, that we can store this stuff for the long haul until it's gone through, I think, 50 half-lives or whatever, so that it no longer is radioactive. Because, I mean, there's a place at, I think, Yucca Mountain, but there was a problem with an explosion or something. So apparently that isn't being used. So yeah, it's not. I like how they come up with every single fucking off the wall objection to wind power or solar power or something. But when it's nuclear power, they can't possibly see where there'd be an objection.
It makes them skeptical and suspicious that the real agenda behind the environmentalist movement is not saving the planet.
Why? First of all, why should they be skeptical and suspicious of anything? I mean, they're believing the propaganda from oil billionaires. If they're not skeptical and suspicious about that conflict of interest, then maybe they have no, they're not entitled to any purchase in the fucking skepticism cinematic universe.
But giving more power to the government to control people's lives.
Who is it again who actually insures nuclear power plants in the U.S. because the private insurers won't touch it? Oh, that's right, that's the fucking government. Who subsidizes the shit out of oil and gas, including having an entire foreign policy built around promoting them? Oh, that's right, that's the fucking government. Wow, I mean, I thought you were against big government.
On guns, we all want to live in a safe society.
It's just that some people mean that they just want to be in fucking white gated communities.
This is why firearms are regulated in every state.
Well, you can own a fucking handgun without any paperwork at this point in Texas.
But we know bad guys will always find a way to get guns. See Chicago and Baltimore for further reference.
You mean the fact that there is a lot of suspicion in the local communities that the cops are supplying the guns? That the cops are just sort of confiscating the guns from one person and then selling them on to somebody else?
That's why conservatives want guns, to protect themselves from the bad guys.
Yeah, except it turns out the bad guys are just like any black person.
It's not much more complicated than that. On tolerance. Conservatives see tolerance as a two-way street. If someone...
Yeah, see, they'll tolerate our existence if we tolerate them being assholes to us. The bad guys, yeah.
One demands to be addressed by certain pronouns and considers it intolerant if you don't comply.
No, it's not intolerant. Fuck you. It's disrespectful. It's insulting. And don't pretend that this is some sort of hard ask. People will apologize if they get your dog's pronouns wrong.
Conservatives wonder why that isn't intolerant.
First of all, because you're the ones who made it about intolerance. And second of all, it's just a basic. What the hell does it cost you? What happens? Like, does your fucking life source, does your purity of essence get damaged every time you respect a trans person?
Why are a conservative's moral or religious beliefs less worthy of respect than anyone else's?
Because they're horrible. And because they seek to impose all this bullshit on everybody else. I mean, this is just such a ridiculous talking point. And I'm wondering, like, who's this for? Because this isn't going to win anybody over who isn't already on side. It's just so pathetically argued. Because the answers are just so obvious. Why is it that it's considered less worthy of respect when somebody has a religious belief that they want to turn into the law that says that entire segments of the population shouldn't be allowed to exist at all? Why is that considered not worthy of respect? Maybe because it's genocidal.
On authoritarianism. Whenever conservatives win political power, they're typically trying to cut taxes and regulations, make the government smaller, and bolster constitutional freedoms like that of speech and religion.
Which is bullshit. I mean, on all three of them. I mean, yes, they deregulate industries. They cut taxes for very rich people, but both of these things, deregulation and cutting taxes on rich people, are bipartisan. That isn't just conservatives. Making the government smaller, I don't know that imposing laws that require the government to be monitoring whether, parents are treating their trans children decently and taking the kids away if they are, is necessarily a way to make the government smaller. And if you're imposing Christianity on the rest of making Christianity the state religion, which a lot of right-wingers explicitly say, that isn't even something that they're coy about. That's not actually bolstering freedom of religion.
That doesn't sound very authoritarian, does it?
Well, no, if it were true, actually, who the hell is this for? Who's supposed to be convinced by this?
Progressive policy almost always raises taxes, expands regulations,
and why is expanding regulations a bad thing? Why is it bad that it's illegal to have fucking leaded gas?
Increases the size of government, and now curtails free speech.
Examples, please?
To a conservative, that sounds authoritarian. Well, now that you've heard a few of their arguments, do you dislike conservatives less than you did before?
No, I actually dislike them more, because they spent actual fucking money making this just frankly insultingly bad video that is based on the premise that if you hear the worst, most superficial Cliff's Notes version of basic right-wing apologetics, and I mean basic in every fucking sense of the word, that people would actually be convinced. If either they absolutely have no comprehension of what they're talking about, which I think is entirely probable, or they think that people are just fucking drones. Hello, malformed Habsburg. Well, yes, it is low-hanging fruit. But tomatoes, if we didn't have low-hanging fruit, we wouldn't have tomato sauce. And I love the tomato. The tomato is low-hanging fruit, and I adore it, and I would marry one.
Not even a little?
No, not even a little. Y'all suck.
I'm Amla Epinobi, host of Unapologetic at PragerU.com for Prager University.
Yeah, I'd really love to hear her explain who this is supposed to convince. Tomatoes are valid as fuck. I will take tomatoes over everyone at fucking PragerU. If I had to if I had to choose between the continued existence of the people at PragerU and the continued existence of tomatoes, I would have absolutely no trouble. Just, yeah, I want my fucking tomatoes. Okay, and with that, it is time to get back to where Has from Infrared loses his shit over EJ and Luna.
Oh my god! And
Oh, see, okay, that's right. Where we left off, Has was just watching and fucking rewatching this video that he shot with some streamer who I'm not familiar with, in which he announced that he doesn't know what a vagina is. He's very proud of the fact that he does not know, like, fucking 5th grade level anatomy.
and while we're on the cringe-inducing subject of Has,
He's gonna play it again. Oh, that's right. There was this really cute video. They did a Halloween song, a like communist, anarcho-communist Halloween song.
I want to die. In a video game.
What's amazing, I mean, he said
so much, Porco. And thank you.
he thinks that the vagina is the same as the urethra. So does he think? I mean, where does he think that like babies come out? Does he think that they're coming out of somebody's ass? Does he think he came out of his mother's ass? I think he came out of his mother's ass, actually. Yeah, EJ and Luna are good.
Thank you so much, Harold.
I have my disagreements, but I like their style, I have to say.
Communism look cringe and soy.
The cringe.
Or make cringe and soy. Like, I love how because that's so fitting that he would use that to attack a streaming duo, one of whom is a Vietnamese Marxist-Leninist, because the whole soy thing is also just total anti-Asian racism.
Cringe-inducing subject of Has.
Yes, the cringe
You
doesn't.
have this on your belt, and you're gonna fucking talk about cringe?
Yes, they're going to talk about cringe. I mean, I don't think you get to actually make that statement when you're proud of the fact that you don't know fucking genital anatomy.
I had a fucking clip from an entertainment dating show that was live.
It was live. He didn't have a chance to look it up. It isn't even old, tired science. I mean, the idea, like, how old would the science have to be? Yeah, and EJ's non-binary, last I heard, I believe. I mean, like, how far back in the history of the science of anatomy do you even have to go before people don't know that the urethra, the vagina, and the asshole are 3 different things?
You actually put effort into this. You went out of your way to produce this video, and I know
Putting work into your creations and actually caring about them is cringe.
it was you, sexpat. Because I don't think they celebrate Halloween in fucking Vietnam, right? Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they don't.
Well, I mean, you're wrong about so many other things. Maybe you should have checked it out. I mean, I know you consider it cringe to prepare for these things and know stuff, but I would imagine probably some people probably do. And also, one thing that came out of the whole Caleb Muppet thing is a little content warning, but this is I think Haz's face is already a bit of a content warning. But the Austin CPI event, where Caleb Muppet and Has got up and did all the reactionary shit in front of the fucking severed head of Abraham Lincoln. Yeah, sexual assault allegations against Has, too. So, yeah. I mean, I don't think he needs to be calling other people fucking sexpats.
So you went out of your way to make this.
Yes, it's called art.
And you thought it would be cute or
And they were right.
wholesome, or this is what a pedo thinks is good content. I don't know who the fuck would make this and think this is something.
What the fuck?
Do you think there's anyone in the world who's not cringing watching this?
Define this. Are we talking you, or are we talking their cute, like, adorable song?
And look at this fucking sexpat make a mockery of the Viet Cong. Luna.
A fun fact, Viet Cong is actually the right-wing slur that is applied to the Viet Minh by the U.S. puppet regime in the south of Vietnam, specifically in order to pretend that they were something totally different from the Viet Minh who had kicked out Japan and France.
Oi was bitching, crying, and whining and pissing her pants and shitting everywhere because I asked her, if you're so against the fucking American flag, why the fuck are you fucking an American man?
Well, because that's not the same thing. Like, okay, do you understand that the flag and the person, they don't go together? It's not like, you don't, like, I've slept with people from the U.S. I have never once had to, like, put up a flag in order for that to make that happen. Like, I mean, you do realize that it is possible not to like U.S. imperialism, not to like the fucking U.S. regime, and still actually think that there are some people from there who are based. God, I mean, this guy, that you could actually power southeastern Michigan with this man's fucking salty energy.
Right? And apparently that was me exploiting the horrors of the Vietnam War.
Yeah, it was, and it was also you not understanding really, really basic things and making an ass of yourself, as is your wont.
What about this shit? This bopping up and down with the fucking Viet Cong hat in the jungle.
It's called dancing, Has. It's something that people often will do before or after showering, a thing that, as you mentioned at the beginning of every one of your fucking streams, you somehow never do.
On the American holiday of Halloween, is this not actually disrespectful? What about...
They're not just... You realize that they're also fucking singing about communist revolution and stuff, which I gather the Viet Minh kind of liked. Yeah, exactly. Or, I mean, it's the same thing as, like, oh, well, if you don't like everything that the fucking U.S. stands for, then you should leave the country. And it's like, no, actually, fuck you. That's not how any of that works.
this shit? Yeah, Luna Oi is such a Vietnamese socialist. That's why she's... What the fuck? This...
No. Finish your thought. How's it would be good. Every time you fail to finish a thought that is going to be actually, well, content for me anyway. I mean, that's about all it's going to be. An angel loses its wings.
Who celebrates this in Vietnam? Maybe I'm wrong. Does anyone...
Well, maybe you look it up. There's this thing called Google Has. Try it out. Look up who celebrates Halloween in Vietnam. Look at Halloween in Vietnam. Maybe when you're a YouTube creator based in Vietnam who does fucking content for people outside of Vietnam, and it's Halloween and you want to do a cute song about fucking political topics at the same time, you do it anyway.
Is this actually celebrated in Vietnam?
Probably by somebody.
No, this is a fucking American who went to Vietnam and wants to make himself feel more at home.
Except she's Vietnamese, she's doing it too.
By making his Vietnamese sexpat wife perform this foreign
Wait, okay, so now she's the sexpat in her own country? That's not how sexpat works.
cultures, customs, and rituals to make himself feel more at home. Except that foreign
Yeah,
culture.
yeah, exactly, because if there's one thing that people in the US just love to do on Halloween, one of our cultural rituals, you see, I mean, for anyone in chat who's not from here, I mean, what we like to do is stand in front of a green screen and dance sort of goofily while singing a ghost song about communism. That is an American Halloween tradition. He's quite right. He's just singing. This is just how you do Halloween. You get in front of a green screen, put up pictures of a rainforest. You put on your Viet Minh hats, and you sing about communism. That's Halloween. I mean, he's totally This is he's totally right.
Just so happens to be the American one. You know, the one that Luna Oi postures and pretends to be so fucking against because it's racist or whatever.
Well, I mean, because it's imperialist mostly, but yes, also because it's fucking racist. Like, I mean, this guy likes to cosplay as a Marxist-Leninist when he's not just outright fucking rubbing shoulders with Nazis. And, I mean, he can't even, like, disguise his contempt for somebody who is actually demonstrably part of that tendency. I'm not even an ML, but I have a hell of a lot more respect for most MLs I've ever encountered than I have for whatever the fuck Has is trying to be. Yeah, everyone who marries a foreigner is a sexpat, apparently. Yeah, he's racist as fuck. He can, remember, I don't know if you were here, 007, when we were looking at what Has had to say about Caleb Muppet, where he said, you know, the consent violation aspect, the exploitation, that's all fine, Has said. What he didn't like, he thought that a communist shouldn't do kink.
I could just sit here and laugh at this and call them lol cows.
Except you totally could not. If you were capable of seeing any humor in anything that does not like, I can sit here and laugh at this, and you know how you know that I can sit here and laugh at it? Because I'm sitting here and I'm laughing at it. You, on the other hand, Has all you can do is get angrier and angrier because two people on the other side of the world, one of whom is part of a tendency you like to pretend you're in, decided to do a funny song about communism, and this pisses you off so much. So, I mean, if you can sit and laugh, I'd like to see it. Like, I'd like to actually see you fucking actually laugh. Like, literally the only thing I've seen him laugh about is like the fact that he is so proud of the fact that he doesn't know what a vagina is.
I don't call anyone a lol cow. Did you know that? I'm a dark person.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff I disagree with MLs in general and Luna specifically with. But, I mean, there are a lot of things that I actually agree with her with, and I think that she's kind of overall on the right, you know, I think she's overall on the right side of history, and she just seems, I don't know, she seems like somebody I would probably enjoy having drinks with. You know, she seems like somebody I would enjoy. Hey, Shakespeare, how you doing? We're watching Has, showing how he totally isn't angry about the fact that other people do creative stuff. Well, his entire thing is that he doesn't know what a vagina is. It's like, there are things I disagree with her on, but she just seems like good people to me. And so, whereas there are things I disagree with Has on, but he also seems like somebody I would not want. That if he and I were waiting for a lift, and it opened, I would wait for the next one because I honestly do not trust him not to just wail on somebody if he's alone, and I also don't trust him to be clever enough to realize that there are CCTV cameras in elevators.
To me, I actually skip to the chase. I don't just pretend, oh, you're a lol cow. No, I say, fuck you, you're dirt, I spit on you, you're a piece of shit. You're
See, this is Has thought right here.
less than my fucking toe, bitch. That's what I fucking say. Because I'm not a... Can't say.
Well, you know, I mean, what I love is that he's really expressing... This is his ideology. Like, see, here's the thing. I can watch that song, and I have a pretty good idea what Luna and EJ stand for. In addition to just their vibe. Whereas, I mean, he claims to be making fucking political content, Has does, and yet the only thing you get out of him is that he's just pissed off at everybody. Everything is somehow threatening to him. I didn't know that Luna had a book out.
You know what I mean? I don't mask my hostility toward people.
Well, that is true. He does not mask his hostility towards basically everybody.
In the form of this, like, pretending like I'm fucking laughing. I'm not laughing at this shit. I'm just
You just said you could be laughing, though.
disturbed by this video. This video makes me angry because it's disgusting. This
What's disgusting about it, though? I mean, what? He just, like... This guy, I mean, if you put him, if his fucking heart would tick over, if you convinced him that he was within 1,000 meters of a Sanrio store.
is a hideous, disgusting.
I mean, Jason Onvo is, I mean, more or less is better than Caleb Maupin on those things, but I mean, to the extent, but mostly he's just full of shit. Now, what's true, I mean, and also it's worth noting, I mean, the Surf, Sophie, and Thought Slime, I mean, Sophie and Thought Slime seem to be more or less on the same page on a lot of things, but the Surfs tend to be somewhat more liberal than both of them when I've actually seen them in that discussion. Yeah, cuteness. It's like, he is so terrified of anything cute, of anything soft, of anything that is like possibly at all like feminine or something like that. He's just terrified of it. It just pisses him off. He is as literal a misogynist as you could get.
Fucking video. The level of cringe in this fucking video is so astronomical that
Okay, wait a second, I'm sorry, you lost me for a second. When you say this video, you mean yours or theirs?
Alone would suffice to scare away any prospective person, regardless of their cultural background, from the ideas of socialism.
Tell me you were, at the fucking Fash event recently. You videotaped yourself, which is why I know. Videotape, what the fuck am I talking about? What is this, 1980? Filmed yourself at a Fash event, where you were, selling your MAGA communism, and your whole thing was that socialism was evil, and corporate, and Jewish. So, now you're claiming that, you do a better job of selling socialism? I think Has is the sort of person who has a lot of holes in his drywall. I'm guessing he doesn't get a lot of deposits back, and it's not because there's a cleaning issue so much as because the place smells like his pits, and there's at least 2 or 3 holes in the drywall that he punched in it because he accidentally he was flipping through the channels, and for 2.5 seconds the Cartoon Network was on.
And as a matter of fact, I think the one intersectional victory that these people have ever achieved in their entire fucking life, bringing people from all races and all sexual backgrounds and all genders together, has been the fact that almost any given person can watch this video and cringe so hard that they would be on the verge of physical sickness.
Really? That's interesting, because I can't help but notice that they got a lot of views on that video, and, I mean, now, as leftist YouTube creators go, they're probably there's some of the bigger names. I mean, none of us have. I mean, none of us get as many views as the reactionaries because the algorithm doesn't like us. But it seems to me that if people are cringing at this, it's a kind of cringe they enjoy. Yeah. But the people you mentioned don't actually. I mean, I don't know about the serfs, but the other people you mentioned don't cheerlead for Army Ukraine.
Key, colon underscore
Thank you,
glow.
Emilio.
Scary socialist.
That's the one victory they have for intersectional socialist, wholesome, chungus, trans socialism. It doesn't matter if you're
Intersexual socialist, chungist, trans socialism.
trans, doesn't matter if you're gay or if you're straight or if you're bisexual or if you're a lesbian or if you're black.
He's explaining sexual orientation to us. This is progress because remember, he started this stream not knowing what
Or if
genitals
you're
are.
white or you're brown or you're it doesn't fucking matter what your background is. It doesn't. You could even be a furry and you could watch this video and think it's extremely cringe for this fucking mid-30s man-child sexpat to travel to Asia, find himself a random idiot wife, and that
Jesus, he is just so pissed off over things that do not affect him.
that's what Luna Oi is, by the way. And use her as a puppet with which to like engage in his man-child fantasies.
Use her as a puppet. Okay, that is like the exact. That is the. Okay, if anything, if anyone has had, like ideological influence on anyone from what I've seen, it's been in the other direction. It has very much been like Luna's, Ho Chi Minhian MLism rubbing off on EJ, not the other way around. But because he hates women, remember, he detests women. So he, as a result, he has to assume that the woman in the relationship, especially she's not white, which that matters to him clearly, must be just some sort of a fucking empty vessel.
He's harkening back to his childhood past.
His childhood past. Yeah, did you know that EJ has in the past EJ was a child? I mean, a lot of people don't know that about EJ.
Bopping up and down to this fucking song. Oh, Halloween's shut the fuck up, dude. You fucking moved to Vietnam.
You're so angry.
Why don't you celebrate their fucking holidays, you fucking
I bet he does.
Yankee sexpat? Go!
Wait a second. Which is it? I mean, now you're using Yankee as sort of a pejorative at the same time as you, attacked Luna for the fact that she doesn't like the U.S. flag. You know, the flag of the country that committed a fucking genocide in her country that they're still trying to recover from even now, decades later, because the U.S. fucking wrecked them. And he's saying that she's somehow inconsistent because she's with a guy from there. I don't know what their relationship exactly is, and I'm not going to speculate on it. It's not the point. And now he's using the fact that EJ is from the U.S. as some sort of a pejorative.
Go home. I have a fucking song for you. Go home. I'm me. Go home. Why don't we fucking...
Oh, fuck off. Get Ernst Busch out of your mouth. Ernst Busch actually fucking resisted fascism. Ernst Busch, and again, speaking of Marxist-Leninists who I have a lot of fucking disagreements with, there are a lot of things I would disagree with, including a lot of Ernst Busch's repertoire, but the thing is that Ernst Busch, actually stood up against the people that Has stands for. He legit actually did, Yeah, Nazis are very opportunistic about ideology, and Has is more opportunistic than most because he doesn't comprehend ideology. I think he really doesn't get any of it. It's just all he's looking for is an excuse to be vaguely threatening and yell at people, especially women.
Sing that song. You're in fucking Vietnam and you're a fucking American. Assimilate, bitch. You know what I mean?
Well, you're on fucking, yeah, you're on indigenous land, so why the fuck are you speaking English then? Why don't you assimilate?
You went there, so assimilate. Don't fucking marry some woman and make her do all this fucking foreign... You know what I mean? Why?
Well, maybe because she enjoys it too. Maybe the reason that she's with him is because she actually likes him.
You fucking pussy. You want to go to fucking Vietnam, then become Vietnamese.
What the fuck? Oh shit, okay, we've got fucking link spam assholes. Bye. We're... Okay. There we go. I'm just going to and let me just drop a link to the Discord and my tip page while we're in here. We are coming up on the end of tonight's stream.
Or else you're gonna face trial in America. And you will
face trial for what? For marrying a Vietnamese woman and not speaking Vietnamese very well and doing a fucking Halloween song about communism? Like, what's he gonna face trial for?
be tried as an American citizen in a future hypothetical scenario.
And a future hypothetical scenario where you would be tried for what as a U.S. citizen?
The levels of cringe that are off the charts. I am not laughing at them.
Oh, he will be tried for levels of cringe that are off the charts. Yes, I mean, that's right. I mean, of course we have to be prepared to have the cringe trials.
I don't find any of this funny. I am actually disgusted. I'm sickened.
He hides it so well you would never realize that he's displeased.
I have a bad taste in my mouth, my stomach.
Maybe you should brush your teeth. I mean, you said you didn't shower before you went on stream. Maybe you didn't brush your teeth either.
Feel sick. It's so cringy that I'm angry at how I'm so fucking angered by how fucking cringy this fucking video is.
Well, this is so weird. Who gets pissed off at something that's just cringe? Like, I'm not pissed. This is cringe as fuck. But I mean, I'm cringing out of my cord watching this guy. But I'm not pissed off. I mean, what the hell? What? He's like so fucking angry at everything.
I want to spit on someone's face just for having to fucking watch it. I might just go outside and find a fucking random pedestrian and spit in their face.
See, I was just about to say that seemed like the sort of thing he would do, and here he goes and actually says it.
Because non-compete doesn't live near me. Yeah, this is criminally cringe. This is a criminally fucking cringe video. And
why? Because they had a little song? Because it was cute? Like, seriously.
The worst part of all is that this video came out 4 years ago. So
why is that the worst?
For 4 years, this is what they've been doing with their little socialist identity. Nothing.
No. You understand that just because one video is up doesn't mean you stop making videos? Like, they've made other videos since then, actually kind of a lot of them.
Nothing to do with the working class. Nothing to do.
This whole lyrics had to do with the working class.
With any insight into actual real. Nothing. They're just fucking sucking themselves off and patting themselves on a.
What hole do you suck when you suck somebody off? Just a little pop quiz for you.
Fucking back and in.
No. Has gets the rainbow fentanyl. Has needs depressants. Let's be honest. If anybody needs a tablet and a half of some rainbow fentanyl, it's Has. He needs to chill the fuck out. Incestually
and perversely indulging
What isn't, first of all, incestuously? Second of all, what's incestuous about it?
in their fucking political ideology without fucking proving it to mass audiences.
Well, okay, so you realize they have other fucking videos. This is just what the fuck, this guy? Yeah, he has have a Snickers. Yeah, I mean, he's like that ad. Yeah, you could do that ad, like the fucking Nazbol Snickers ad, and he has a Snickers, and then he turns around, and suddenly he turns into Big Joel.
Oh, we're socialists. Shut the fuck up, you disgusting fat scumbag.
Wait, first of all, who gives a shit if either of them is fat? And second of all, that's not a word. I mean, that's not a description I would have come up with, but okay.
You're ugly. You're disgusting. You're a freak.
This guy, I have a feeling that this guy is reenacting his fucking childhood in front of us. Because now this is just apropos of really nothing.
You're gonna fucking circle jerk yourself because you're a socialist? Do you know how unpopular that fucking word is in America?
Actually, it's increasingly popular. The sting has really come out of it. Now, what's true is that most of the people who like it, and also pretty much all the ones who don't know what the fuck it actually means. But these days, the word socialism, without more, actually polls better than the word capitalism. I mean, and also, why are you even bringing that up? So he's saying, okay, you think he doesn't know that the U.S. has had a massive fucking propaganda campaign to demonize socialism and communism and anarchism? See, I get the feeling, I would say that he's not really much of a talker. My impression of the guy, I have a feeling that he probably leaves a trail of women with black eyes behind him. I don't think that he necessarily would fight somebody that he thinks could actually fight back. That he thinks, just to be clear. But, I mean, I have a feeling he just seems like the sort of person who probably likes to put his fist through hard things that don't hit back.
The country that celebrates this fucking holiday, you have effaced that word. You have made that word irredeemable.
Wait, just what, by having a fucking Halloween song about socialism? How is that? First of all, that's not what effaced means. But, like, how is that made the word irredeemable as opposed to, say, Bernie Sanders saying that socialism is when the government does things?
Even communism, thank God, is more redeemable than the word socialism.
Oh, what, you think that communism is more popular as a term in the U.S. than socialism?
In fucking America in 2022. And this is what you did 4 years ago, so we can remind people who the fuck is responsible for the...
Yeah, well, this is what you're doing like a couple of weeks ago, though, dude.
Complete devastation of the prospects of the word socialism being redeemed for mass audiences.
Yes, because they made a little fucking Halloween song video. Obviously, that's the reason. That's why we can't have communism. Did you know that?
You were so comfortable and content with yourselves that you actually made this video not taking into account how you would be judged. You made...
Well, you mean they didn't take into account that it would make you very, very angry and you would scream into a microphone for 2 hours, 18 minutes, and 56 seconds about it?
Made this fuck... You're so comfortable. You're like a fat person who's comfortable with their body.
Why? And that's a bad thing.
Why are you comfortable? Lose some fucking weight.
Fuck you.
How could you be comfortable making this fucking video?
because they liked it, and they're probably, I would imagine, a bit proud of it. I would be, because, I mean, look at the fucking production values. I mean, the backgrounds. This is good stuff. They did it. They did well. They wrote a song, it was cute, and it has really nice production values. That's how they can be comfortable, I'm pretty sure.
What about your grasp? What about what you have proven as far as socialism is concerned?
Well, I don't think that this video that they made was actually meant to be a proof of concept. I'm just gonna guess that maybe the puppet show and the little song were not meant to be a proof of concept. But since we're on that subject, what the fuck is your proof?
What about what you have done to make socialism popular has inspired this level of fucking confidence where you're gonna make this extremely disgusting, cringy fucking video?
See, he's one to talk because this idea, the way that you make socialism popular, you see, is that you get a microphone and you, like, shoot yourself up with anabolic steroids, and you just, like, sweat and you scream and you scream and you get more pissed off and say just be a fucking misogynist. Then people are like, wow, we need socialism. Apparently that's how you convince people that socialism's a good idea.
And not care if people think it's cringe? Surely you knew most people would think this is cringe, right?
What, you think that most people don't think what you're doing is cringe?
Right? Oh, you didn't care?
Yeah. See, the thing is that if you're going to actually create something, you kind of have to not care. Because some people are going to like it, and some people are not going to like it, and some people are really going to hate it. That's just how it works when you create something. And if you are entirely basing your life on what somebody will think of it, what the next random person will think of it, you're never going to be able to create anything. You just have to be, okay with what you think of it. I mean, I never heard this entire interview. I really probably ought to watch it. I just heard an ad, a teaser for this interview back in the early 1990s on Comedy Central. It was Joel Hodgson of MST3K, and MST3K was new at the time. That's how long ago this was. And the one line I remember him saying is, we don't say who will get this. We say the right people will get it. And that's the attitude anyone who wants to, like, create stuff pretty much has to have an attitude like that. Because otherwise you're just going to be terrified the whole time. And actually that's not a bad note on which to end. So I'm just going to thank everybody for joining me today. I've had a good time. I hope you've enjoyed yourself as well. And just to let you know where else I am, and I will be there probably Saturday afternoon, i.e. tomorrow afternoon, for a few hours over at Hyperpolyglotting. And I just want to say, if you enjoy the stream, please consider paying for the stream, and there are a couple of ways to do that. You can donate directly using the tip command, or you can sub or prime over at Hyperpolyglotting on Twitch. Since I'm affiliate there and I'm not on here, either way it gets to me. That just helps me continue to do this by making it more possible for me to pay bills during a fairly complicated period. So, I will see you all tomorrow, maybe tomorrow afternoon, for Hyperpolyglotting and the Duolingo 36 language speedrun, or maybe to continue this. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you so much to everybody for joining.